Peace and love, family. Peace and love. It's your boy Chris Enlightened coming back again with some more spiritual biddles. And today I'm going in on Ancestor Offerings. What are they? Ooh, this is a good one, family. This is a good one. You know, a lot of people, I get a lot of emails, a lot of calls, a lot of messages about what people can offer their ancestors. And it's real simple, family. There's a myriad of things you can offer your ancestors and the gods and your higher self. I'm going to go on the ancestors first because that's what most people are really into, their ancestor offerings. Money. You can offer your ancestors money. You can burn real money. I do that once every now and then. I may burn a $5 bill because that becomes gold bullion on the other end. Whenever it's something that you need and use for financial things in this earthly domain, and when you offer it up to your ancestor, it increases in value. It increases in value. You know, so every now and then I do burn some regular money. It is what it is. That's what I choose to do. Before I got hip to ancestor monies, I used to have a bunch of checkbooks that I used to pay my bills and things like that. I started writing checks to my ancestors. I was writing quadrillion-dollar numbers on there. This is for my Aunt Emma. This is for my father. This is for my grandma Odessa. This is for my grandma Marcelli. This is for my Aunt Sher. You know, I was just going down the line of all the people, and I would just burn all these checks. Because checks represents currency in this earthly domain. And we all have a reservoir of financial wealth. We all have more than enough money than we need. In the spirit world, what we need to do is do something spiritually to draw it from our spiritual domain into our earthly domain. So even though I don't have a quadrillion dollars in my earthly bank, in my spiritual bank, I do. So that's one reason why I was burning checks. Another thing you can do is burn ancestral money or hell notes. Don't get caught up on the hell in front of the note. You know, the Chinese, they had what's called the underworld, and they believe that once you transition until you go to where you're going to go, you reside in the underworld. But when the Christians came over, they mentioned hell. That's where people go in the lower domain. The Chinese thought hell was like the equivalent to their underworld. So when they wrote hell, it's really representing the underworld. It's not like the hell with the red goo or demon or anything like that. That's just a Christian motif. But that was just a Chinese way of trying to explain what the money was used for, to help your ancestors that are resolving in the underworld or a lower plane of existence. Again, it could be that they put hell on there to deter people from growing spiritually and helping their family members. It could be that as well. You know what I'm saying? It could be a double entendre when it comes to the money. You know what I mean? It could mean this, it could mean that. I don't know. You know what I mean? But anyway, offering is food. You can, whatever you eat, give your ancestors a little bit of that. Just a little bit. You eat, break it up in tens. Give your ancestors 2/10 of what you eat. That's 2 small bites. They'll take the energy of that food and they will use it to benefit them on the other end. It's just that simple. Water is another good offering. Water has a consciousness in it. It's one of the most oldest consciousness on this planet. And the energy within water helps your ancestors out. Some of your ancestors may be in a place where they haven't had a drink of water for I don't know how long. And when you offer up that drink of water, that may be the first and last drink they have for a long time, if you're not going to your ancestor altar daily. So I don't care if I don't put food on my altar for the night. I guarantee I keep water in a jug, and a nice glass bottle jug, and I always give them fresh water in a glass too. That's something I do every night. You know, another thing you got, also your ancestors are prayers. I pray that so-and-so is doing well. This is for my ancestors known and unknown. You know, things like that. Divine prayers. Divine prayers. One thing about your ancestors that really help them out is dedicated prayers. Most of the time, I dedicate my prayer. I say, this is for Emma Barnett, my great aunt Emma Barnett Lane. I pray that she's this. I pray that you're doing well. Whenever you pray in someone's name, this is like a beacon to them to let you know that you haven't forgot them. You haven't forgotten them. You don't have to go to a graveyard to show your admiration and appreciation for someone. You don't have to do that, family. You don't have to do that. Another thing you can do is what I do a lot, is send things to your ancestors. I burn clothes, money, homes, car, all the stuff that they need on the other side. The whole concept of people being buried in a new suit came because that may be the last clothing they have for a long time. But when you're constantly burning clothing and food and things like that to your ancestors, they're going to stay stocked up and G'd up spiritually. It's just that simple. Another thing you can offer to your ancestors is warmth. I offer fire and warmth over to my ancestors because some of them may be in a place where it's real cold. And contrary to what people believe, hell isn't hot. Hell is so cold that it feels hot. It's so cold that it feels hot. I'm up here in the Midwest, and as a kid, I used to make snowballs and throw them at people. I come in the house, my hand would be so cold it would be burning. I would take a shower or whatever, bath, my hand would still be burning because it was so cold. You know what I mean? So your ancestors need warmth more than anything. Another thing you can do is burn medicine to your ancestors. They need that stuff like that. You know, I burn everything that I need over here in this earthly domain over to my ancestors. You know, there's no limit to the offerings you can give to your ancestors. Now, the gods, they like certain things. Me personally, I would say look up whatever god you have on your ancestors, on your ancestor altar. Look up the things that they like. I'll just give Tahuti, for example. He's one of the first deities I put on my altar. You know, he loves bread, beer, and water. So I make sure I have some bread, beer, and water on my ancestral altar for Tahuti. Oshun loves honey. I make sure she have honey, orange slices, and things like that on my altar. Doesn't take a lot. You can take one slice out of the orange and eat the rest and give the rest to Oshun if you like. A god, again, the gods don't need anything. They're gods. But it shows appreciation when you do things like that for them on special days and things like that, family. Okay? So, I say all that to say this, family. If you want to evolve, you want your life to change, start aligning yourself up with higher divine forces and your ancestors. It's really important that you do this. Cultures across the world is doing this, and they're prospering and they're winning because of it. Not enough of us over here in the Western world are doing that, and that's why we're suffering spiritually so much. We have all this tangible, illusionary things that make us give an illusion that we're doing great, but they're external. You can't find true happiness within anything external. It won't last. It's temporary because you can't take it with you. But when you find joy within, you create a spaceship you can create a space within you that will allow you to have a ship to traverse wherever you go. Wherever you go. The spaceship is within you. You are the spaceship, the space in between you and your consciousness. That's your spaceship. You don't need an actual a craft to traverse the universe. You can do it within your mind. You can do it within your mind. But you can only do it if you vibrate on a certain level. There are certain beings that have once lived on this earthly domain that when danger come, they would transition to a whole nother subspace domain within this domain and just wait for the danger to clear. Once the 1,000 years or 100 years is over, they would just phase back in and say, okay, the danger's gone. Let's party. That's what I'm trying to do. That's where I'm trying to get. That's a whole nother video right there. Ooh, that's going to be a banger, family. Ooh. But I can only release certain things right now. I'm building my channel. I want to build up my audience. There's so much more I want to share with you guys. There's so much more I want to share with you. But just like a song, you want to build up your audience and then start hitting them with that heavy stuff later. I got a lot of heat. But on that note, family, peace and love. Start giving some ancestral offerings to your ancestors. Give to the gods if you want to. And more importantly, give to yourself. If you don't have a picture of yourself, your wife, your boo, your children on your altar, do so immediately. Do so immediately. When you do that, why not give to yourself? You know, we're taught to give to everyone else, but we're not taught to give to ourselves. That's one of the main reasons why I like to have a picture of me, my wife, and my daughter, and my family members on my altar. I don't want my reward later. I want it now. I'll take it later too, but I want it now. I want to be able to consciously and physically play with my reward and enjoy my life. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to suffer. I'm here to win. So on that note, it's your boy Chris Enlightened, and I'm always winning.